Life, invented a long time ago at the bottom of the ocean around some really hot hydrothermal vents. Life is a gift that has been given to all of us that none of us asked for or even really wanted. The universe was just like, wow, look at all these inanimate elements. Beep boop, life. And now, whether we like it or not, we have to go through this whole tedious process. So let's go on a journey from start to finish to see what the average human has to endure through their unwanted journey through space and time. Stage 1. Life? There's a small debate amongst stupid people about when life actually begins. Does it begin at conception, or does it begin at birth? If you fall on either side of this debate, you're a fucking idiot. True big brained intellectuals like myself know that life begins when the process of spermatogenesis finishes and the sperm cell that will become a person is formed. And also when the ovum that will become that person is formed through the process of ovum to genesis. I remember the 3 times I've seen my dad in person, he kept reminding me that I was once a sperm cell in his nutsack, and I'd be like, yeah, I was also an ovum in mom's egg sack. Ugh. Listen, kids, don't let your dad take all the credit for producing you, alright? Your mom was there too. She also did the thing. It was a 2-person job, and thank fuck that it was. Trust me, you wouldn't want to be there with your potential brothers and sisters during the 1-person job. Rest in peace, poor bastards. Give your mom the credit she deserves. Call her up and say, hey mom, thanks for not douching me out of your vagina after dad accidentally cream pied you. This is getting weird. What the fuck is this video about? Oh, okay, yeah. So life begins when the sperm that becomes you and the ovum that becomes you both exist at the same time in different people. Stage 2, flesh mecha. Once the sperm and the ovum that become you exist at the same time in the same person, things start really happening. These 2 half-ass cells come together to form one supercell. And then, you know the process, 1 cell, 2 cell, red cell, blue cell. This process repeats until 1 cell becomes many cell, and until either the red or blue cell is destroyed, determining your sex. As you continue to develop, you begin to take more and more control over your mother's body, causing her to have wild mood swings, strange cravings, and generally unacceptable behavior. After this incubation period comes a series of stages I like to refer to as the useless piece of shit stages, but during these upcoming stages, you're officially known as a proto-human. Version 1. Your mother has physically had enough of you and has decided to kick you out. In about 18 years, she'll mentally have had enough of you and will kick you out again. As an early stage proto-human, you really don't do much. You might wiggle around a bit, make some mouth noises. Really, it's up to your parents to feed and water you and make sure you don't spontaneously combust or some shit. Hopefully, your mother doesn't shake you to death and you can continue on your journey to becoming a real human being. Stage 4, Proto-Human version 2. At this point, you're no longer just a useless collection of hard and soft tissue. You're now a useless collection of hard and soft tissue capable of mimicking real human behavior. You can stumble around like a drunk, you can slur your words like a drunk, and you lack any sense of depth, cause and effect, time, or reality, like a drunk. You are still a proto-human though because you lack the refined skill set to be considered real. You're a cheap imitation of a real human being. I could buy you off AliExpress for 50 cents a pop, but A, I hate you so I would never buy you, and B, that's proto-human trafficking, which is illegal. You're not a real person yet. I have extreme doubts about your capabilities to put together cohesive thoughts, but you'll get there one day. Maybe. Stage 5, Proto-Human version 3. You're now as close to a real human being that a subhuman, proto-human can get. This is by far the worst stage of being a proto-human. At this point, a proto-human has full mobility and a fluent grasp on their language. They themselves think that they're human, but they're not. Don't be fooled by them. They're no longer a cheap knockoff. Now they're more or less accurate, but they are a knockoff all the same. At this point, their quirks and character traits really start shining through. These character traits generally involve acting like a waste and being a waste. They're argumentative, annoying, asshole-ish, some other negative words that start with A. It's like they've taken all the shitty parts of being a person and stuffed them into one mini human-shaped container. But at least you're almost there. Stage 6, finally a human. Congratulations, you're finally a full-fledged human being. Here's your complimentary Razor scooter, Pip-Boy, undeserved sense of self-importance, and a seed, which contains the sneaking suspicion that the world is not as great as it seems, and this seed will one day grow into a full-on tree of existential crisis. Also, since you're now a real people, this comes with some upsides and some downsides. Upsides, you get to have an opinion now, and people might actually listen to what you have to say. Downsides, your opinions are fucking shit, so people listen to you talk and they realize, wow, this kid's an idiot. And they're gonna keep thinking you're an idiot all the way up to and including the stage, it's not a phase, mom. The majority of the time you spend in high school is spent going through a lot of changes and picking up new habits, some of which are phases, some stick with you forever. Hopefully you've made the right choice in what to take with you and what to leave behind. These potential phases include wearing graphic tees, listening to shitty pop punk bands, wearing graphic tees of shitty pop punk bands, being a goth, having horrible taste in everything across the board, not showering, smoking a wide variety of things, dyeing your hair, piercing your septum, and wearing Doc Martens in lieu of having a personality, growing an afro in lieu of having a personality, disrespecting your parents, disrespecting women, disrespecting the man, watching anime, growing a shitty goatee, dependency on the approval of others, being straight, being gay, being both, or being neither. It's around this time that the average person loses their virginity, usually around the age of 16 or 17. Remember kids, in Canada the age of consent is 16, but the age of anal consent is 18, so if you're fumbling around in the dark and you accidentally stumble in through the back door, you can expect a visit from the RCMP within a few minutes. If you don't lose your virginity in this time though, don't worry, there's no need to subject yourself to a lifetime of inceldom just yet. Wait till you're like 35. It's also during this time that you should learn some actual life skills. You know, cooking, doing laundry, pumping gas. It's important to learn these now while you have some guidance, rather than waiting till later when you have to figure it all out yourself. Which brings us to, technically an adult. Now that you've graduated high school, or it's been a while since you dropped out, the day that your parents have been waiting for has finally arrived. The day they can kick you out of their house without any social stigma. Believe me, they've wanted to do this for a while, but it's generally frowned upon to kick a 12-year-old out of your house and have them fend for themselves. Since you're now an adult, technically speaking, it's during this time where you get to go out and do adult things, like live somewhere where your gamete donors don't, schedule your own doctor's appointments, pay taxes, question your own existence and purpose, replace your dependency on the approval of others with a dependency on drugs and alcohol, and you get to choose what path in life you want to take. Maybe you want to be a doctor, or an engineer, maybe a lawyer, or an artist, or a writer, or whatever the fuck people in the humanities do. Maybe you'll learn a trade and immediately get a well-paying job. Not likely though, cause fucking nobody wants to learn a trade. Maybe you'll say fuck it and try your hand at some out-of-pocket shit, like being a SoundCloud rapper, or an Instagram comedian, or making videos on YouTube. But come on, what kind of idiot would do that? Ha! 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 This stage is basically the point where you lay the foundation for the rest of your adulthood, by trying to figure out how the world actually works and where you fit into it. Also, if you didn't figure out those life skills back in high school, good luck figuring it out now on your own. Stage 9. Definitely an adult. Maybe. At this point, most people have finished their undergrad education and are ready to jump out into the world with their bachelor's degree in hand. If by some stretch of the imagination they have a shred of optimism left, it will quickly be swept away as they realize the job market for whatever they were studying is more akin to a garbage dump than any kind of market, and they end up working at a Starbucks in their hometown, right beside that dude who dropped out of high school in grade 10. Sweet, this was worth the 100K in student debt. Stage 10. Okay, for sure this time, an adult. Now, if everything is going well, you're either a grad student who has their master's or PhD, or you finally managed to get a job that actually has something to do with your bachelor's degree, or you've become a manager at your local Starbucks after working there for over a decade after dropping out of high school. If things are not going well, then you're probably either dead, in jail, or broke living in your parents' basement. But don't worry, there's still time to fix these things. We'll probably be able to resurrect the dead in a decade or two. You can still learn valuable life skills while in jail, like how to make a shiv out of an apple, how to take a poop with another person in the room staring at you, and how to pretend to be a racist so at least one group of people won't be trying to stab you with their apple shivs. And if you're broke in your parents' basement, don't worry. So is everyone else on the internet. This is the stage where the prep work is finalized. People stop figuratively fucking around and set themselves up for what they'll be doing for the rest of their lives. People also usually stop literally fucking around and set themselves up with the person they'll be doing for the rest of their lives. Stage 11. Doing the things. At this point, you're set into your lifestyle and now you just do it. Get a house with your significant other, maybe get a proto-human or two to take care of, maybe get a whole bunch if you're some kind of weirdo, like you're trying to birth out a starting five or some shit. And then you just work, doing whatever it is that you do. Forever. Well, actually just until you're over the hill. At this point, you've pretty much done what you're going to do. Odds are you've retired from your life's work, and at this point your proto-humans have gone off to live fully fledged human lives of their own. And now you can sit back, reflect on your life, wonder why your kids won't answer your calls, and be a burden on your nation's healthcare system. Fuck 'em though. You've spent decades doing shit. You've earned the right to sit back and do nothing for a while. Stage 13. Any day now. Yep. You've spent a lot of time in this life securing the bag, getting this bread, but now it's coming to an end. At some point. Soon. Stage 14. Okay, this is impressive, but we're all actually getting impatient. Look, I know it's tough to let go and say goodbye, But it's over. Stop fighting it, just let this end. Wow, modern medicine is truly a wonder. Okay, yeah, it's cool you've been able to fight off any kind of Alzheimer's or cancer for this long, but something has to give eventually. Stage 16. Seriously, what the fuck is going on? Okay, I'm very confused. Not only as to how you've managed to hold off death for so long, but also as to how you've reverted back into a more youthful state. Stage 17. Are you the fucking Highlander? How are you doing this? Did you kill Christopher Lambert? Why won't you die? Stage 18. Alright, fuck you. Have fun watching the universe slowly die while you stay impervious to any form of release from this physical realm, you immortal fuck. Piece of shit. And now, I'd like to give a shout out to some of my patrons. Ben, Cancer Cop, Cole, Daniel, Doffy, Magnum, Hooded Angel, Human Garbage, Juice Goose, Linus, Michael, Nathan, Nick, Rain, Rodrigo, Samuel, Sean, Seba S. Bob, or maybe I sound that out. Sebas Bob? Whatever. Snackawoo, Snaby, Zachary, and Xander Cage. And now a word from some of my patrons. Why is assisted suicide not legal? How many boards could the Mongols hoard if the Mongol hordes... Fuck! How many boards could the Mongols hoard if the Mongol hordes got bored? Okay, 2 tries. Not too bad. Abs are like hot chicks. As long as they look good, who cares if they're stable? I love clubbing baby seals with Honduran children. I was shamed in a Jax Films video once, so I'm only doing this to redeem myself. 93% of women have vaginas. Mifo? Mifo? I'm assuming it's supposed to be my name, so Mifo has made it this far without a real job. And gamers don't die, we respawn. Gamers rise up.